Hello world, I'm Rich, and it's Rich's World Beer Tour, SJPORR Challenge time again. I got my Brewmaster Pete out here with me. We're going to do a duel. We're actually going to be bottling some beer, so thought we'd do a few reviews here, knock through the rest of these SJPORR Challenge beers. What we've got today, it is 3F321444F, an American Double Imperial Stout. You know how me and Pete love our stouts. The local ingredient, California raisins, and they also add cacao nibs and bourbon-soaked oak chips. 8.4% ABV.
California raisins, is that the singing group?
Dun, dun, dun. I heard it through the grapevine. Let's get a... It's hard doing dual reviews here with 12-ounce...
12-ounce pours.
12-ounce pours. Next year, can I say, how about 22-ounce bottles? That is, let's get a little look on it. Jet black. I mean, that's what you want a stout to look like. That is jet black. Not getting a lot of head. Did you?
No, and I poured a little more aggressively than you did.
Okay. Let's swirl in a little bit. I mean, what head is on there? Gorgeous color to it.
A light tan.
Light tan. There's some dark kind of brownish hues in there.
Yeah.
Let's get a nose on it. I mean, it looks good. Looks good. I'd love to see a little more head, but I understand how these are hard to get head. I get me some bourbon.
Yes.
I get me some raisins.
Yes, definitely
The dark fruit.
Yep, the dark fruit sweetness.
Yeah.
Backed by a little bit of the bourbon smoke.
I was gonna say I thought I got bourbon to start, and maybe I did. It is raisins.
Yes.
Raisins, dark fruit kind of. I mean, if I didn't know raisins were in here, I would say prunes and dates, and I mean, it's that whole dark fruit. Kind of drops off a little, but swirl it and get it back up. Just a hint of bourbon. I don't get any oak, any other. The raisins are pretty. Do you get any chocolate? I don't get a lot of chocolate. I don't get any coffee.
No, he talks about what, cacao nibs
Cacao
in
nibs.
here too.
I'm not getting.
Yep.
I'm not getting that. If anything, you
I hope
think
that
about it
comes
long
through in the
enough.
flavor.
You think about it long enough, you can smell anything. But the raisins are huge.
Yep. Raisins all over the top of it.
It's sweet smelling. Let's give it a try. Cheers. I've let this warm. It's probably in the 55-degree range. Sometimes you drink these things too cold, and you miss out on it.
Boy, it finishes dry, really dry.
It does. I'm gonna have one more sip. Medium mouthfeel. Where the raisins are huge on the smell, I don't get any raisin. All I get chocolate, dark chocolate.
Definitely a chocolate flavor, but it finishes like you ate raisins with that kind of dry, the way it dries out.
See, I was
your mouth
say
at
it was
the end.
okay. I was thinking it was more
That's
like
how
a dark chocolate finish, where it's bitter and it. You know how.
That's flavor. I'm talking the feel in my mouth.
Oh, the feel.
It's the dry,
Yep.
the dryness.
Yep.
And that to me is like the way a raisin is. When you eat a raisin, it ends up, your mouth is dry.
I get the, yeah. You're right. You're right. Yep.
But the flavor is definitely.
I want more.
Yeah, the flavor is definitely
nibs.
the bitter chocolate.
Maybe this is the cacao nibs. I mean, there is that dark chocolate. I don't get a lot of coffee or any of the. Sometimes with the bourbon and the soaking, you'll get a little caramel, you'll get a little vanilla, you'll get some of that
out of the oak.
There is a little bit of burnt, a little char. That's what I was gonna say, chalky, and that was not the right word. I get a char taste.
Yeah, don't say burnt, because that would make it a bad thing. But the charred oak.
The charred oak. That's what I'm tasting.
Yeah, and there's definitely something nice about that. The smoky charred.
And I think right up front you get a little alcohol taste. And I think that's the bourbon. I don't feel at I think it was 8.4%.
Yep. Yeah.
I don't feel it in my chest. This is deceptive 8.4%. The only thing I could suggest on this is love a little more head retention. And someone said, knock up the IBUs 25 points or something like that, and you'll get better head retention. I'd like that. I'd like a little bit more sweetness. This is a thoroughly, and I'm going to say this and it's going to sound bad, but it's a thoroughly bitter. It's on the bitter side of the spectrum. My personal preference is for a more sweeter stout, or to have some sweet notes in. I would think the raisins would do it.
You'd think, but I think the raisins are there right now. They're giving their smell.
Oh, then they
and
did.
And definitely the drying in your mouth.
At the end.
Yeah, at the end, that's sort of almost like a wine,
and
sort of a finish.
I don't even know where you add raisins. In secondary?
I wouldn't. Yeah,
you don't put them in the boil.
No, the boil, you'd just get the sugars
out
of
them,
them,
that'd be gone.
Yeah, and then, right.
Well, I'd like to hear how you added the raisins.
Process was
Man, that
for
was.
adding
I mean, the
raisins to
smell was. That part of it has left. There's a little bit, but not as much.
Swirl it again, and you'll get it again. But
at the beginning, it was so pronounced. This is a really nice beer. This is a really nice, well-constructed. I'd just love to see, maybe forget the bourbon piece, get that raisin and add, tweak with the grains a bit to bring some sweetness into it.
a little more chocolate sweet.
And maybe that's just my personal preference.
Yeah,
And that's maybe that's what we're looking for, I guess, here's personal preference. As an overall Imperial Stout, I like it. A nice beer. It's a great entrant. We don't give ratings per se, but yeah, this is a really nice beer. I'd love to try it again. Anyways, this is, get the number. Still hold, you swirl it, get a nice little bit of head, some nice lace, stuff on the glass. 3F3 214 44F, the American Double Imperial Stout with California raisins, cacao nibs, bourbon-soaked oak chips. Real nice beer. Real nice beer. Thanks for sharing one with us, SJPORR. How about 22-ounce bottles next time? Cheers, world.